I'm just gonna be like completely honest with you guys. It has been one hell of a 24 hours. Like, I have, I've been moving from where I am to where I'm going. It's been crazy. But I'm live, as you guys can see above. I am live. I'm not going to get into everything that's been going on the last couple of days, as far as what's happened with the channel and what I've been doing. But in tomorrow morning's preview and predictions for TakeOver, I do go over that. I want to make one programming note as far as that video goes. It is a backlot brawl. I did hear that was a backlot brawl for the Velveteen Dream Adam Cole match. I don't mention that in the video. In the video, I mentioned that I didn't know. And at the time of my recording, I did not know that it was going to be a backlot brawl. So, but I do now, just so everyone knows. Everyone's up to speed. So if you're like, well, Zach, it's a backlot brawl, I'm aware now. But at the time of my recording of that video, I did not know. So wanted to get that out of the way, just to let you all go. But welcome back to the Yo Bro Nation YouTube channel. I am Zach, and I am here tonight to do your SmackDown Live review. SmackDown tonight was, I guess you could say it was fun, right? Is that light bothering anyone else? Yeah, give me a second, guys. I'm going to fix that light. Just give me 1 second. There we go. Got that fixed. I do want to... SmackDown was fun. I do want to apologize for the lack of videos, but like I said, I have been moving, so please ignore the unorganized chaos that's going on in here right now. I am fixing it, so I will have an office set up here within the next week. Like I said, I'll go into detail on everything tomorrow. I'm scatterbrained. It's been a long period of getting everything done, but I'm back. I'm live. I'm happy. I'm ready to go. I got my notes ready, and I want to talk about SmackDown. SmackDown. This is actually a fun episode. I can honestly say this was a fun episode of SmackDown tonight. I'm not going to say it's like one of the better episodes of SmackDown that I've seen, but it is a SmackDown that I can honestly sit and say that I enjoyed, and I think I look forward to next week, if I'm to be honest. Man, so SmackDown. Okay, let me get into this. Last week, I brought up the whole Jeff Hardy thing with them doing the whole drunk driving angle and all that stuff, and I explained how I can't say it bothered me, but I was really conflicted, and I wasn't sure how I really felt about it. You know what I mean? So after going back and I rewatched SmackDown, and then after seeing tonight, I do have a better understanding of where I think they're trying to go with Jeff Hardy. I'm not saying that I'm still on board with it 1000%, but I do think I feel more comfortable, that I do feel better about it. I can honestly get it better. I don't know how I'm trying to say this. Like I said last week, my dad was an alcoholic. So for me, it's harder. For me, it's harder to be on board with it. But I see the angle that they were going, Jeff. I saw the angle last week. I figured it out. But I'm okay with it this week. I mean, they're painting Jeff out to be the victim in the situation. You know, obviously we know it was Sheamus that set him up. And Jeff alludes to that tonight. I think they could have gone without using a certain word of calling him a junkie. My girlfriend actually I was talking to her on the phone, and I told her about what they were doing, and she didn't like the word junkie either. She thinks that it was, this is supposed to be for kids. I'm an adult. I don't mind it being edgier. It really doesn't bother me that they're doing this. Kind of bothered her. I don't know. The angle is what the angle is. I am cool with it either way. So, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to jump into it. I'll have more to say as I go through it. But we do kick off the show with Jeff Hardy backstage, talking, seeing some of the PAs in the back. And then they kind of show the highlights from last week. Then Jeff Hardy comes out. He talks about last week. He talks about how he pulled up to the, he says, a lot. He talks about Elias being hurt and being okay. He talks about, how everything looked. He says, but let's talk about it from my perspective. Let me paint this picture from my point of view. He says he talks about getting to the show, getting out, starting to grab his bags, and then feels like he got hit by an anvil from behind. He says, next thing you know, he's waking up, head spinning, not knowing where he is, and trying to answer questions that he doesn't have the answers for. He talks about his clothes smelling of alcohol, and how he feels like the cuffs being put on his hands and the skin from his wrists being ripped off. He said he felt like he was back in that dark place that he was. And he said everything that he's worked for in the last 8 months, his career, his family, he felt like, something wasn't right. But he knew in his heart of hearts that he hadn't slipped and he hadn't relapsed yet. He says that he did, while he was sitting at the police station, he passed all their tests. They talked to the eyewitness, and the eyewitness said that they saw a person flee from the vehicle. He said that person had red hair and a red beard. He says, now we all know who that is, right? About that time, Sheamus comes out. Sheamus says that Jeff is just, again, making excuses like he always does. He says that that's all Jeff has ever done through his entire career. He calls Jeff a junkie. He says the fans that lied for Jeff are worse than Jeff. Those fans are enablers. He told Jeff to be a man and admit to what he had done. He says that, but he's not a man. He is a junkie. He says, what are you going to do when you slip again? What are your kids and your family going to do? Oh, that's right. They're used to it. Jeff then decides to go out of the ring, goes after Sheamus, tries to attack Sheamus. Sheamus goes for a bro kick, misses the first one. They fight on the stage. Sheamus pushes Jeff off, hits him with a bro kick, then slams Jeff repeatedly into different parts of the plexiglass until Jeff's finally down. Sheamus then talks some more smack to him and then leaves the area. Now we're going to find out later in the night that this is now an official match for Backlash. These two will be going one-on-one. Like I said, I get the angle they're going for, and I'm totally for it. I think it's good for building Jeff up for redemption for what he's done in his past. At a point in this, Jeff's talking about, this was a place, when he's sitting there, he's smelling the alcohol over himself. This is a place he promised himself he'd never go back to, and that he felt like something happened. I get this as a story angle, but you could see the look in Jeff's face. You could hear it in Jeff's voice that Jeff really felt and meant this stuff. Like, it was an angle, but I don't think for Jeff, it was like him actually being able to speak the words that he wanted to speak about not going back to this, about how he's working hard for the last 8 months, trying to get his career back, trying to make sure things with his family are good. Like, you felt that in your soul when Jeff was talking to everyone about that. And I really did feel it. So I liked the opening. I loved how Jeff's promo was. I really, like I said, I felt what Jeff said. And I believed what Jeff was saying. And I think putting him against Sheamus is a good start. Sheamus is a good, solid worker. Jeff's a good worker. I think the match will be fine at Backlash. So, I don't know. Like I said, last week, I wasn't sure. This week, I'm more on board, and I'm looking forward to seeing, just kind of where this is going to go next week going into Backlash. So we go from something serious to something just utterly ridiculous. So we see Mandy and Otis walking backstage. Otis, he's talking, oh, my peach, sees Baron Corbin's crown and robe sitting on a chair just randomly. He puts it on. Mandy tells it looks good, so he just goes to the ring with it. They cut to Meytal Cohan, freaking God, why is my brain gone dead? They cut back to Meytal Cohan and Corey Graves. And then they cut back to Baron Corbin backstage, who there's a PA. You saw the PA in the background, but he's like, where's my crown? He yells at him. The guy says, oh, Otis has it. And he gets mad. Why'd you let him take it? Which leads to a match. Otis, along with Mandy at ringside versus King Corbin. Corbin comes out to his music, wastes no time getting into the ring. Otis is in control. He clotheslines Baron Corbin to the outside, but Baron Corbin manages to get the, kind of get the advantage back. This is really, it's just a lot of back and forth. It wasn't even actually all that long of a match. You get some kicks by Baron Corbin. Otis just kind of takes them. He starts kind of hulking up. He starts to fire himself up. Hits a series of big moves, clotheslines, and stuff of that nature, etc., etc. Otis sets up for the Caterpillar, but Baron Corbin rolls out of the ring, goes around, grabs his crown, kind of hugging it. Here comes Otis. He gets a throat chop, and then Baron Corbin gets the chair, hits Otis with said chair, gets disqualified. So Otis wins this match by disqualification. Baron Corbin then hits Otis again with the chair. Otis gets back in the ring. Otis is selling none of this. So Otis, he ends up coming back, hits a series of moves onto Baron Corbin, hits the Caterpillar, and him and Mandy celebrate. It is what it is. They're just spinning their wheels with Otis. Baron Corbin, he's losing again. I don't know what they're doing with Corbin. If either of these guys have anything, value going, it's whatever. Truthfully, at this point, it's just whatever. So we get The Miz and John Morrison. They're in a security van. They're kind of watching Braun Strowman. They're talking about, oh, you look at our cameras and stuff. It's silly stuff, but it was funny. Just throughout the night, they're doing pranks and stuff. Just kind of trying to get under Braun Strowman's skin. That's all they're trying to do throughout the course of this. So when they come back from commercial breaks, they say, their coworkers and the fans have become annoying. That, no one seems to be giving them a chance against Strowman in their match for that handicap match for the Universal Championship. They said tonight people are going to call them, jokesters and pranksters and immature and this and that. But they're going to basically get under Braun Strowman's skin. So Strowman shows up. He's in his car. He goes inside. He goes to make himself a protein shake, and it's shaking up, and it just kind of fizzes all over the place, and he gets mad. Okay. So we go to Kayla Braxton, who has an interview with Shorty G. Shorty G gets cut off by Mojo Rawley, who makes short jokes again. This is the whole theme of Chad Gable. Is short jokes. The dude is an average height, but they continue to make short jokes. So his Mojo Rawley says, so basically your interview is, cut short. Get it? Because he's like, yo, we got another comedian. Then Nakamura and Cesaro show up. They attack Chad Gable. Mojo Rawley joins in. New Day shows up. This is going to lead to a 6-man tag later in the show. We're getting Sonya Deville versus Lacey Evans again. Okay, before I jump into this, why the short jokes? Why is everyone beating up on Shorty G? The dude is an Olympian, a freaking Olympian, and he's constantly disrespected. I don't know. I had to say that. It was in my head. I just had to say it. So, Lacey Evans versus Sonya. Lacey's on her way out to the ring. Sonya hits her from behind before the match even starts. They come back from commercial break. They start with a lockup. Then they kind of do some amateur-style wrestling. It's just kind of some back and forth. Lacey, though, does a very nice springboard elbow and then kind of works over the arm, then stops. Sonya, though, starts to work over Lacey with some kicks and some strikes. Gets some more back and forth. Sonya and Lacey, they get kind of in the ropes, right? And I think Lacey tries to do kind of does a roll over the top rope, but somehow the referee gets caught in between them or underneath them or something. I was kind of looking at my notes and writing it down, but the referee ends up getting hurt, I think legitimately hurt. Just kind of having to lay there, and he has to have another referee come in. I think he was legit hurt, at least the way it appeared. So the referee ends up leaving and kind of going on his own. He gets taken out, so we get a replacement referee. So the match continues. During the commercial break, you kind of get like a spear, but then you just get some big knees by Sonya when you come back from commercial break. You're just seeing, big old knee strikes. She's working over Lacey. She does like this neck breaker off of the apron to her knee, kind of like a Ushigoroshi, but using the apron as kind of like a way to hold her. Lacey, though, does have a comeback with some big clothesline, some kicks, does a running knee, does a Marosault, only for a 2 count, goes for a neck breaker attempt. That gets countered with a big knee to the face by Sonya Deville. Sonya then hits a running knee. That only gets a 2 count. Sonya in full control of this match. Then on the Titantron pops up Mandy Rose, who then calls for Sonya. She says, hey, you said you were going to make my life miserable. You were going to do this. You were going to do that. Well, you're not a fighter. You're a failure. Ooh, sick burn. Sick burn. That distracts Sonya enough. She's like, oh, you want to do this? Say it to my face. Allowing for Lacey Evans to hit the women's right for a 3 count. So Lacey Evans wins the rematch this week. I thought they were building towards something with Lacey and Sonya. I guess they're going to try to build another match with a week left to go till Backlash. I don't know. The match itself, the match was pretty damn good. This match was much better than last week's. Outside of the ref bump where I think the ref got hurt, it was, like I said, a really good match. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I actually wouldn't mind seeing these two go at it again after this week. Call me a positive Pete today. That's just how I feel. So we kind of get the same Matt Riddle promo that we got last week. Then we get Braun Strowman doing his interview. He's talking about Miz and Morrison being losers and cowards and trying to be pranksters, how they did things with protein shake. You see Miz and Morrison talking like, oh, yeah, it's set up. And they have this remote. They press the button, and it dumps. But it doesn't land on Strowman. It lands on Kayla Braxton. And they're all like, oh, but you said to do this left. No, not stage left. This, like, they argue. It's silly. Silly fun. The guys are silly. And all of this just to get under Braun's skin. He's all apologizing to her. I'm sorry. I know this was meant for me. It is what it is. She gets mad and calls them bastards. So, and more antics to ensue later in the night. Daniel Bryan and AJ Styles to have a face-to-face. This, I will say now, was great promo work. I did the best I could taking notes. Just be prepared. But what they did, what they said was better than anything I could actually have done. So we start off with AJ, cutting off Bryan. Like, look, I know what he's going to say. He's going to call me a coward for being smart and taking my bye last week. He's going to talk about being a fighter, blah, blah, blah. Bryan says, yeah, basically he was going to call him that. He says, but AJ's got his way. He has his. It's whatever. He says they've known each other for a long time. He says, they've always had different worldviews, but now he sees they also have different views as to what it means to be the Intercontinental Champion. He says, AJ sees being a champion as defending his title sparingly against hand-selected opponents, always viewing himself as better than them. Bryan says when he looks in the mirror, when he thinks of himself as a champion, he's going in, night out, every week, defending the championship against everybody from the, decorated veteran to the newest guy. He says not, because it's an ego or this or that, but because to make himself better. Like I said, these guys, fantastic mic work today. But AJ says, okay, so you call it opportunity. He's talking about opportunity. He says, you call it opportunity. Well, Daniel's basically saying that, for him, it's making him better. He wants to learn. He wants to grow. That's what he's wanting to do. AJ says, oh, you talk about opportunity. I call it handouts. He says, speaking of handouts, why did Drew Gulak get a handout being your coach? How'd that happen? He says, how about I hand an opportunity to Drew Gulak, a.k.a. an ass beating? Drew Gulak comes out, tackles AJ Styles. AJ Styles rolls out of the ring. Therefore, we're getting a match. A pretty damn good match, by the way. AJ Styles starts aggressively with some nice, nice kicks. Gets some nice back and forth between these two guys to start off the match. Gulak goes for a submission early. Kind of tries to work over AJ. Tries to get in to tap out quick. AJ with a nice big clothesline. Gets in some more offense. Gulak with a big comeback. Nice fisherman suplex. Beautiful fisherman. Hits this really sick Michinoku driver. Very high angle. Almost onto AJ's head. AJ, though, gets the referee in position, rakes the eyes of him, hits him with his reverse DDT. You get kind of a stare down at Daniel Bryan. He goes for the Styles Clash, but that gets reversed into a pin with a bridge for the 3 count. Drew Gulak actually beats AJ Styles in a fantastic match. I could have took more notes, but I'm going to be honest. I am not quick enough nor smart enough to keep up with what these guys were doing. It is a beautiful match. If you want to go outside of your way or whatever, sorry, I can't talk. It's been a long day. But if you want to go out of your way, watch these guys. I highly recommend you guys go back and you watch them. I really do. Back to Miz and Morrison. Braun pulls up. Okay, when Braun pulled up, he was in this Buick Grand National. Beautiful car. Gorgeous. Black, jet black, just beautiful. And Miz and Morrison decide that they want to bust the windshield. So that's what they do. They bust up his windshield. It was sad. Made me cry. But they're like, oh, look, is that a fly? That's a fly. Smack. They talk about Braun's dad being a softball player in the Hall of Fame. So they make fun of Braun's dad. Yeah. And then they go back to their little minivan. The soccer dads. And when looking in there, Morrison sweating his ass off. Social distancing, guys. Social distancing. You guys were too close. Nakamura and Cesaro and Mojo Rawley take on the New Day and Chad Gable. This match, really good tag team match. Really, really good tag team match. Hard to keep track of. But the pace kind of starts fast. Get a lot of tags, a lot of teamwork. Shorty G and the New Day looked really good together. Get a series of moves. Chad Gable finishes that off with like a moonsault for a 2 count. Cesaro, then Coffey gets him in some offense. Cesaro kind of pulls Nakamura out. Coffey then dives over the ring. Kind of lands awkward on his knee, but he's okay. You get big shoulder block on the outside by Mojo Rawley. When they come back from commercial break, Kofi Kingston, he's getting worked over. Finally gets a hot tag to Chad Gable. Gable, he starts in fast, taking Mojo down. Some rolling kicks into the corner. Hits one of the most beautiful moonsaults I have seen. Like, it was like a thing of beauty. Mojo Rawley, though, goes for his finisher. That gets countered into an ankle lock by Chad Gable. Gable, you get at different things. Gable's going for a move. He gets up getting an uppercut by Cesaro against the ropes. Mojo does hit his finisher, only to the 2 count. Pace starts to build back and forth between these teams. I got to fix my notes because they like to just move around. So Mojo Rawley, though, does try to go for another move after the hot tag, or blind tag by Big E. Big E, Jesus Christ. Mojo Rawley misses his move, gets picked up by Big E, who then tags in Kofi. Gable dives over the ropes to Nakamura, and Cesaro gets caught. Midnight Hour gets hit. Gable then does hold Cesaro and Nakamura down for the 3 count, so that way New Day and them win. I'm telling you guys, I'm scattered brained. I need to be writing my notes. Like I said, it was a good match. These guys, they did good. I enjoyed the match. It was a good tag team match. I did enjoy it, though. So, when we come back from commercial, Braun has found his car. Braun is a mad champion. Braun finds his car, gets mad, starts asking where they are. Someone points out that they're in the van. So he's trying to get in, can't get in, looks into the little camera and tells them, "You're dead men." Says it twice. Okay. They're laughing. "Oh, you can't get in." Ooh. Braun flips the fucking vehicle. We've seen him do it before, but it was just funny. Those two are in there, like freaking out like they're going to die. It was funny. I laughed. It was all good. So, honestly, I don't care about the match happening at Backlash, if I'm honest, but tonight was funny. Miz and Morrison always have wonderful chemistry. Like, they always have great chemistry. So that's always great. Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross against Bayley and Sasha for the women's tag team championships. This was a better match than I think it had any business being. If I'm honest, it was much better than I think it had business to be. But Bliss and Cross, they do start off fast onto Bayley. Some quick tags and teamwork. You get some back and forth between the teams. Nikki with a good crossbody off the apron to the outside on Bayley. Nikki goes to get back in the ring, but Sasha tries to distract her, allowing Bayley to, get her from behind. Sasha with the tag hits a Meteora off the apron to the outside. Coming back from commercial break, Nikki Cross is being worked over. Bayley just kind of showing off, which gives Nikki the chance to fight back. She gets a tag to Alexa Bliss. Bliss and Bayley do have some back and forth. Bayley hits a nice Bayley to belly off the second rope, ends up having the tag in Sasha. She hits a running knee only for a 2 count. You get a tornado DDT by Nikki Cross to Bayley on the outside from the apron. You get a sunset flip powerbomb by Alexa to Sasha for a 2 count. Here's where things get wonky, okay? So you get a blind tag by Bayley, but Sasha hits the backstabber into a bank statement. Bayley gets in the ring, pushes her out of the ring, says, go, 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 puts her in her own bank statement. That gets countered into a roll-up for a 2 count. So you get some more, they're kind of just going at it around. Somehow Sasha gets back into the match, gets another bank statement in. Nikki counters that into a roll-up. She gets a 2 count. But then Sasha then counters that into a crucifix pin for a 3 count. And then she gets the win. Bayley and Sasha are your new women's tag team champions. I did not see that coming. You got Alexa and Nikki having their program on Raw with the Iconics. I did not expect this to happen. This match was much better than I think it had any business being. Which I'm not saying these women can't work. That's not what I'm saying. But I just didn't expect it to be as good as it was. But it was. It was great. I loved the match. Sasha celebrating. And that's not even the bigger story. The part where they're planting seeds, right? They're planting seeds for Sasha versus Bayley. You see it in this match, but you can also tell they're not rushing it. I see them actually taking their time and building story and whatnot. Hey man, how are you? Thanks for being in the chat, buddy. Sorry, I can't read your name. It's in Arabic. Sorry. Or Hindu. Maybe that's Hindu. But the match was fantastic. I enjoyed the match. I liked the story that they told. Sasha and Bayley, look, friends or not, tag team or not, they're definitely worthy of being a better tag team. And I asked last week, what teams are there? And they're not even an actual team, but they still put them together. They did this. So they're 2-time women's tag team champions. I like the fact that, they're slowly building towards this. Now, maybe they do it at SummerSlam. Maybe they hold it off till we actually have full-on crowds. I don't know. But it is welcomed. I'm glad to have seen it. I think it was a good match. The show overall was a really good show. It really, really was. I think everyone... This was a worthy SmackDown, a good SmackDown. Who knows what next week will hold, but I would definitely say the Jeff Hardy thing was, again, it grew on me this week, listening to others talk about it. It's like, okay, I get it. I understand why some people are uncomfortable. Like I said, having a dad who was an alcoholic, I'm okay with it. The tag team match for the main event was good. That 6-man tag was good. I mean, this was a good episode of SmackDown. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm looking forward to next week, AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan for the Intercontinental Championship. It's the go-home show. I see this match ending weird and seeing these guys going again at Backlash. I think. I could be wrong. But, hey, that was SmackDown in a nutshell. Like I said, SmackDown, really good show. So thank you guys for coming in. If you guys want to help support the channel, hit that like button, share this video, subscribe to the channel. It's the best thing you guys can do for us. Very much appreciated if you do. If you want to help in other ways, in the descriptions, you guys can go to Twitter, you can go to Facebook, you can go to Instagram, you can go to StreamLabs, you can go support us there, donate, whatever you want to do, become a Patreon. It's all welcomed. But mostly, thank you guys for coming in and watching this video, whether you're here during the live stream, you're coming in late, all 5, 6, 7, 20 of you, whatever the numbers may be. Everyone is appreciated. Everyone is welcomed. I've been Zach. This has been your SmackDown live review. Thank you, everyone. And remember, join the nation. I'll talk to all you guys later. I promise I'll stop being weird. Bye.